What is the name of this tree and what kind of benefit does it provide? How do we call this problem and how much of our grains does it affect according to the IITA scientists? What is the nutritional advantage of orange fleshed sweet potatoes? How long will it take these fingerlings to grow to marketable size?
Good evening and welcome to the premiere of a documentary, Kulima School Without Wars, today Friday 7 May 2021. I'm your host Joab Frank Jakaza, glad you could join us. This is a documentary by GIZ's Green Innovation Center Malawi with financial support from European Union and the German cooperation. This program is live on Zodiak television. It's also live on Zodiak online Facebook and Kulima Facebook page. In Malawi, smallholder farmers remain the driving force behind its agriculture. With simple tools, they manage big farms. Climate change and declining soil fertility make it difficult for them to provide enough food for a fast-growing population. Now, the Malawi government initiated the Kulima project in cooperation with the EU to improve the situation of these farmers and also ensure food security. One of the measures is the establishment of farmer field schools, which is something that we're going to learn more about through this movie, and that's where the name Schools Without Wars is coming from. The film that we're going to watch is going to portray farmers, scientists, and extension officers that make the farmer field schools possible. It shows the concept behind the schools, it demonstrates innovative farming practices, and it invites more farmers to join. Tonight we've got an exciting package lined up for you. We're going to have a few speeches. There's going to be the documentary itself. There's music by Saint, which I'm sure you must be very excited about. And we would also like to hear from you. And another exciting thing is that we have amazing prizes to give away after the movie. So there's going to be a quiz segment. If you want to follow the movie, follow it with keen interest, because we'll be asking some questions about what you saw in the movie, and you stand to win amazing prizes. We'll also have a short panel discussion as part of this official launch of the movie Kulima, A School Without Wars. And for that panel discussion, we have 4 panelists who I'm going to introduce now, starting with Dr. Isaac Beterai Nyoka. He is a tree scientist and ICRAF representative in Malawi and Southern Africa sub-region. Dr. Nyoka has a PhD in forestry genetics and tree breeding and has over 30 years of research experience in agroforestry, forestry, and agricultural research in Southern Africa. He is one of the panelists today. We also have another panelist, Mrs. Miriam Msadilomo Piri. She is a research associate in sustainable aquaculture and fisheries science at World Fish. She's currently the coordinator of the Kulima program and a focal person for the aquatic animal health component of the SFAD Malawi project at World Fish. We're also going to have Mr. Gibson Nkwinda, a research technician at International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IATA, where he coordinates all aflatoxin research work. Currently, he is part of the team at IATA implementing the Kulima project. And on the panel, we also have Dr. Felicitas Chipungu. She is an agricultural research scientist, specifically a plant breeder specialized in root and tuber crops. That's cassava, sweet potato, and potatoes. She's working with the International Potato Center, CIP, as a sweet potato crop specialist at the institution, and as a program leader for the root and tuber crops for agricultural transformation in Malawi. Now we're ready to get the program underway. As we get the activity underway, I would like to encourage you to engage with us by sending us your comments and questions. If you are following this program on Facebook, you can type on the comments section. Remember, we are live on Zodiak Online, Zodiak with a K, and the Kulima Facebook page. We are live, so if you want to comment, you can just type your comment in the comment section. But if you're watching this program on Zodiak Television, then we invite you to send an SMS or a WhatsApp message to this number, 0997 932 888. That's 0997 932 888. Please note, that's a text only line, so do not try to call because no one will pick that call. This program is coming your way right here, and we are now going to give you something that will show you something behind the scenes. We engaged the GIZ team to demonstrate the concept of the Kulima movie. Let's watch together.
Welcome to the Green Innovation Center, the EU Kulima team.
Kulima, Malawi Kulima, Ilingebe Samale Kulima. Kulima, Malawi Kulima, Kulimi Patsogolo Kulima. Zikola tula chonderi, nyanya nyama za mtengo mapiri, ifewani wake osamalira, sono ni kwa bwino kupunzila, sachilengede ulimiti punzile, Farmers Field School iti unikile, tipewa mavuto amiri, oza paku sasa mala chilengede, kukokoloka kutaka, chilala chachaka ndichaka, matenda aziwe doni mbeu, kudula mitengo kusasa mala mazi, mbeu Kulima, Malawi Kulima, ilengebe tisamale Kulima. Mbeu Kulima, Malawi Kulima, kulimi patsogolo Kulima. Ulimi wa makono ndichiwerengelo cha antuzono, ziendere limoti Malawi watu moti osamala ndifeyo, malangizo tikatatila, mbeu zochuluka titakolola, kupunzila sikuta, Kulima ya ikalunta potambiza halimi monga ulimi wanso.
Well, there you go. That is how we are going to enjoy this documentary together. That's the team that is behind Kulima, and they were part and parcel of this documentary. And now I would like to invite Mr. Moses Kachale from the Kulima Program Coordinating Unit to give us a few remarks. Mr. Kachale.
The guest of honor, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Lobino MP, the acting EU head of delegation, the representative from GIZ, all Kulima partners joining us online, all our viewers wherever you are. Good evening. The Kulima program is now well underway since its launch in 2017, with many contributing parties working in close coordination to achieve the program's goals, aiming at increasing incomes, employment and food security in Malawi in the context of a changing climate. School Without Wars is a captivating documentary about the research center's contribution to the Kulima program. The documentary portrays farmers, scientists and extension officers making the Farmer Field School possible. It shows the concept behind the schools, demonstrates innovative farming practices, and invites more farmers to join. It is my hope that from this documentary you will embrace the opportunity to expand your knowledge on how improved agricultural technologies that are meeting the needs of our smallholder farmers are identified, produced, and disseminated through farmer field schools by the research centers and other implementing partners. Reaching this far, I thank you all for sparing your precious time to join us and witness as well as support the premiere of the Kulima documentary. I wish you all a joyful evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Mr. Moses Kachale from Kulima Program Coordinating Unit giving us some remarks. And this project was not going to be possible, it wasn't going to be a success without the European Union. For that reason, I'd like to invite the EU country representative, Madame Aurélie Vata, to address us.
Honourable Minister of Agriculture, Mr. Lobin Low, Your Excellency, German Ambassador to Malawi, Mr. Jürgen Bosch, representatives of government institutions here present, representatives of FAO, GIZ team members, representatives of the NGO consortium, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased here to be part of the opening of the premiere of the GIZ funded and produced movie, School Without Walls. GIZ, as most of you know, stands for Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit. First, I'd like to congratulate GIZ for this movie. We can only know what's going on in the field, we can only know about successful stories if we actually talk about them. So delivering is one thing, but actually showing and communicating is another one. So I really commend you for this work. Honourable Minister, let me first come back to the overall context in which this movie was made. Through the implementation of Kulima program, which is one of the EU flagship cooperation development programs here in Malawi in the sustainable agricultural sector. We have been involving various actors in developing, testing and validating different techniques as prerequisite steps to the effective transformation and adaptation by farmers of sustainable agricultural techniques. And this has been a guiding principle of the Kulima program. I think what GIZ wanted to do is to make this knowledge useful. So they wanted for this knowledge to be shared, and I really commend them for this. This is really great that all the partners in this project, but beyond the project as well, are able to use that knowledge, leverage that knowledge to improve agriculture extension services. As you will see in the movies, partners are collaborating so that farmers are empowered, so that they can understand how to address the challenges that I mentioned before. The most important part is about discovering for themselves what's happening and how they can change it. So this is really important. This is the whole spirit of the farmer field school process. Let me conclude by recalling the EU's commitment to continue to support the government of Malawi in its efforts, and in particular in elaborating policies, guiding the needed agricultural transformation. We've heard it at length in the Malawi 2063 vision. This is really a priority for the government, but also to design and implement programs and projects that will bring real change at grassroots level. So from the top and from the bottom. I'm happy to announce that by collaborating together, the EU member states are creating Team Europe initiatives, and that these initiatives will really allow us to reap the benefits of bringing together all these minds and all these resources for transforming Malawi's sustainable agriculture system. So I wish you all a successful learning and screening evening, and I hope to hear some new ideas of how we can improve the agricultural sector here in Malawi, looking at solutions not just for agriculture, but also food security, nutrition security, and environmental protection. Zikomo kwambiri. Thank you.
Aurélie Vata, she is the EU country representative, and I'm sure you're all itching to watch Kulima, A School Without Wars, the movie, the documentary. But how can we watch a documentary if it has not been launched? So for that reason, let me invite the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Lobin Lowe, to officially launch the movie.
The European Union acting head of delegation, the GIZ representative, the representative of Kulima Program Coordinating Unit, all Kulima partners and everyone joining us, good evening to you all. I'm very pleased to be here with you this evening to provide the opening remarks for the launch of the Kulima documentary produced by GIZ under the Green Innovation Center for the Agriculture and Food Sector. Various stakeholders have joined us this evening to learn what we are doing under the Kulima program, how international research centers contribute to it, and appreciate the direction we are taking. Ladies and gentlemen, you may ask yourselves, which direction is the Kulima program heading? The answer to that question can be found by looking at the overall objective of the Kulima program, which is sustainable agricultural growth promoted to increase incomes, employment, and food security in Malawi in the context of changing climate. We are very grateful to the European Union for the generous support in realizing this objective. We are confident that through the strong partnership between implementing partners, the targeting of having over 400,000 farmers trained through the farmer field schools will be reached. However, this is not just about reaching the numbers. It is also about transforming livelihoods through hands-on learning process and application of the available technologies in Malawi. Ladies and gentlemen, our Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, through the Department of Agriculture Research Services, had invested decades of efforts in research towards the release of new technologies that can increase yields in a sustainable manner. We are grateful for the support and strong partnership with the different research centers of the consultative groups for international agricultural research, better known as CGIAR, that have contributed significantly to the introduction and development of these technologies. The fruits of these efforts and partnerships are now evident in the various seed systems developed and the numerous improved technologies and integrated technology packages farmers can benefit from. We all know that research for the sake of research will not take our country forward. Technologies need to be scaled up through strong extension approaches. This is the core strength of the Kulima program by promoting the farmer field school approach to enhance the adoption of technologies and practices through training and self-discovery. This complements the efforts of our ministry to implement agriculture extension and advisory services through the Department of Agriculture Extension Services. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted that we have all these interventions on record through the documentary called School Without Wars, which we are launching today. It is my sincere hope that you enjoy this evening, while we appreciate the progress we are making in the Kulima component led by GIZ through research centers. Ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I now declare the Kulima Documentary School Without Wars officially launched. Thank you so much.
Minister of Agriculture, and thank you for launching the movie that we are now ready to premiere, and that is Kulima, a School Without Wars. Remember to engage with us by sending us your comments and questions. Remember, we're going to have a panel discussion at the end of this movie, so if you've got questions and comments that you'd like to be addressed, please don't hesitate. Type them in the comment section if you're following this launch on Facebook. We are live on Zodiak Online as well as Kulima Facebook page, but we are also live on Zodiak Television. If you are watching this activity on Zodiak Television, you might want to get in touch with us by sending an SMS or WhatsApp message to this number 0997 932 888. That's 0997 932 888. And now, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Kulima, a school without wars.
From the sky, you can see the true beauty of our homeland, Malawi. We have vast lands with fertile soils available for agriculture. Majestic mountains are the sources of our rivers. We can enjoy the shade of trees that are hundreds of years old. Our Great Lake is home to more fish species than any other lake in the world. We are blessed with everything we need, and yet those of us who actually work the land know that farming here is full of challenges.
Nyengo yetu yangu sindabe vuto lagala likundi kusoka kwa mvula ikuza mvula kudui pasa njomba koma vuto likuluso ndioti kumabwera mazi ongo wilikiza mbewu ija kusowa so ntendere kuti ike naombera mphepo basi kungokhala mazi.
Our land loses fertility and problems with pests and disease increase. Whilst conditions get tougher, our population grows and we need to find ways to produce enough food for everyone. To meet this challenge, the Kulima program was created. Kulima is a multi-stakeholder program which supports the Malawian agriculture in a wide range of areas. One of its measures is the establishment of farmer field schools, places where farmers come together to work on solutions for the problems we face. How do we bring fertility back in our soils? What can we do to fight pests and diseases effectively? What type of crops can we grow to diversify our production and improve food security? How can we make fishing more sustainable? The Farmer Field School creates space where these kinds of questions are taken seriously. It is a different kind of school, accessible to everyone and open to new ideas. At Mzuzu in the northern region, the Kulima project has a campus to train farmer field school master trainers. Each master trainer class is made up of 30 students who live on campus for 13 weeks to be trained in a wide range of agricultural practices, as well as the Farmer Field School methodology.
Farmer Field School embraces the fact that farmers are not empty. They have knowledge. It's only creating that forum where they can be able to share what they know. The training is set up in 3 aspects. There is the classwork, and there is the field excursion to the outreach groups, where they start satellite farmer field schools for practice, and majorly 65% is on field work. The concepts that they are discussing in class, they come and try them out in the field.
Most of the trainees are government extension officers, and some work for NGOs supporting the agricultural extension work. At the end of the intensive training, they all graduate as master trainers or MTs.
As master trainers, we are TOTs. We will teach the trainers, and those trainers will also have their own schools.
The mission of the master trainers is to set up a network of farmer field schools, which eventually is going to stretch across the country. The starting points of the network are 3 residential training centers, one in Tuchila, one in Ilisasadzi, and the one in Mzuzu that we have just visited. The master trainers graduating from these RTCs will set up schools in their districts to train lead farmers as community-based facilitators. The facilitators will then set up more farmer field schools in their localities, extending the network. Further and further, the network.
Okay. Kat kodi nduzibungu pakeni matenda. Matenda. So matenda kwa ya moyo. Ndiriambo ya kwa sauti ni bungu. Ondo bungu. Adai.
Bungu tulishe mukati.
Oh. Right? Tukola kuni rose tuanga tu. Ndutipata tuna tulimbwe. Nduti kasava miri bagwashtachi wanjira. Sono kama atendaya tingamalana na yoli. Alipa wanga pereka kulisachizo kwa?
Kana mbambira waka hapa nditu kuzugura mbewu hiyo yaoneka vibungu hivyo unakupika ita utali huko.
Okay. Tikuzugura na ukataya kochi kutali. Ati kutali kwetu ukataya uko tuneseske kuti kuliso mindanyi tuja. Nyongozi nyake maruma kutaya kutali. Tukocha. Walipaketi jimirenge viji. Pass.
AESA is a fundamental part